Great. Good evening, everybody. I am a Baptist preacher, and you think you're leaving. No, in all sincerity with this, it's been quite an evening this evening, and having the opportunity to stand in the back cleanup is kind of a tough job, you know, at every point that we have here. But I stand amazed at the number of folks here that I recognize, and I was sitting there with Vice Chief Blythe for a few minutes and got to looking around, and some of the council members said, I see a whole bunch of people I don't know. But I think, you know, the fact that we're all here together for a common purpose shows a whole lot. Now, I've got some prepared notes right here, and I'm not typically one of those that uses these things. It was suggested that I just crumble them up and throw them over my left shoulder and get a laugh. I'm not going to do that. I think there's some very important things that we need to be thinking about as we move forward with this, and that's one of the key issues that I'd like to share with you for just a few moments tonight. And I know that you're getting tired, and some of you have a very long way to get home. This that's taken place tonight has been a culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of folks. We know that. And we know there's been a lot of dedication and energy and time expended to arrive at this point. There have been a lot of things that have been bumps in the road along the way. There have been those challenges that are yet we find ourselves to find the answers to. But we have a start with that. So we must build upon that we've done. I am a Western North Carolina kind of guy. If I had a bumper sticker that said, the West is the best, it would be on my car. We are a very vibrant people. We're a very strong people. We have constitutions that may be a little bit irritating, but at the same token, we have that is a stick-it-to-itness that's going to get things done. Even if it takes a very, very long time to get communications from point A to point B with those that would listen to us. I'm proud to be a part of Western North Carolina. I'm proud to understand about the local governments that I've had a part in for the last 3.5 years, and in that of understanding the place of the Eastern Band, as they've been here a lot longer than any of the rest of us. And the idea of having that of a partnership is something that is very, very important. You know, it says here that I'm to go and to push that of collaboration. I'm an educator, a retired educator, a Baptist minister, and I've been in politics, and they say it doesn't mix. But I believe it does. Because in that is in each and every one of us is a desire to see that we have about us to be preserved. I know that we have pristine mountains, we have that of pristine waters. We also have people who live in this area. We have those that find themselves living here for a very long time. It's important to have those things of quality, but we're to find a balance. And to do that, we have to sit at the same table to work those things out. And we need to understand also that whenever we're finding ourselves here in the very far west, how many of you have ever heard of the old idea of the state of Franklin? Would you raise your hands? Oh my goodness. It's not the secession from this state that I want to go and purport. But we need to understand that we have a very unique situation where we live. Not only in the state of North Carolina, but in the southeastern United States, period. We're a very unique people, and you say, well, we're just like any other people. But we have a whole lot going for us, and I just don't think we realize it. I'm not going to stand here much longer, but I want to say to each and every one of you that are here tonight, and no matter where you're at and what capacity that you find yourself, make sure that you understand that you have a neighbor. And you know, a lot of times we've heard, and I've heard it's mentioned here a lot tonight, about county lines. We've heard about regional lines. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity, and I hope it's not taken wrong. But I'm a little bit disappointed with the aspect of going and having the new ideas for rural prosperity and dividing the state up into the same old divisions. There has to be some change. We need to find ourselves consolidated together as a region. And the only way to do that is to listen to one another and find the common ground that we need to stand upon. I'm also a COG guy, which means a council of government. We probably have the best, if not one of the best, in the whole state of North Carolina. We have that of a council of government that is active. It has different responsibilities. You who are elected officials, you know about it. I've met a lot of you. I've listened to a lot of you. Everything from transportation to that of development, all the different things from aging, and right now Graham County's been in need of that of the workforce development. You know, a lot of folks in this region have come to the aid of Graham County as well as those in Raleigh. And we appreciate every bit of that that's going on, but that's in Graham County. I'm going to stand here and tell you, if Cherokee County were to land a plant, if that be happening, or some industry that would make a difference for the region, you'd find me right in there digging for it. But one of the things I know as I stand here tonight is that those workers need to have a way to get there. They need to have a safe way and an efficient way to get from point A to point B. If Graham County it's not going to get a Sure Tape, it's not going to get a 3M, it's not going to get the big plant. But what it will do is take that it has and to go and to support it on a regional level that the people might live where they are in Graham County. And then I appreciate so much Mr. Drake. I've known him for a long while. I don't know who knows that. He did our taxes when I had a business a long time ago. But you know, the entrepreneur spirit that is involved in that is important. And I appreciate Chancellor Belcher with everything that he's spoken from Western Carolina University. A lot of good folks came from there. I just thought I'd let you know that. It's our regional university, and I'm appreciative of that, and our community colleges and everything else that's involved. But you come into Graham County and you find this. My mom died of a stroke. They have that is called the golden hour. You all know about that? $12,000 to $15,000 helicopter rides. Part of the reason is we can't get there from here in time. That's a personal note. But it happens more and more. And I believe it's going to continue to happen until we find ourselves in a position to connect the dots to make the differences in people's lives. With regard to that of the last mile, these old mountains that we love and we want to protect so much become a great challenge when it comes to the last mile for broadband connection. There are those in here that know how I stand about it. I live on Sweetwater Road. There's been a fiber cable under my driveway for 25 years, and not a nary soul has done anything about connecting us. Telecoms are stranger than politics. I've learned what I've learned by trying to get a difference made. And that all comes apart with people working together. You know, I'm a little tired. My passion's probably a little bit dim. But you blow a good breeze across me and watch me. And I believe that's what's going to happen to everybody in this region. We find ourselves with a plan. Now, one thing can happen. You can go and have this plan, put it up on the shelf somewhere in your county, and raise a crop of corn the next year. Or we can take it down, revisit it, have a plan, and move forward together with it. Now that's big talk, isn't it? That's rhetoric in a lot of folks. But I tell you, that's the only way that it's going to happen. We're going to have to get our heads together. We have all the resources that we need. Let me do this, and I will be quiet. In this, I want to read out some of these things, the wealth of givens that we have in our region. First of all, we have that. We're blessed with all those pristine streams and the natural environment, resources that we have, and a beautiful environment in which we live and share with the state, the nation, and the world. We are blessed in having WCU, our regional university. Chancellor, I want you to know I went up there to a meeting at the UP program. I didn't know where I was at. The place has grown tremendously since 1975. We are blessed to have our community colleges. We are blessed to have the Eastern Band of Cherokee, a nation that is thriving in our region, and it's a very vigorous economic driver in our region. We are blessed to have a highly effective and highly active COG, a Council of Government, in that of the Southwest Commission. We are blessed to have a county governments, and I want to say this earnestly, we're blessed to have systems of county governments that are willing and able to gather about a table to discuss, plan, and do what they can do, not only to represent the interests of those various communities that they represent, but for the region also. I wish you had the opportunity to sit in some of those meetings and hear the passion from these folks and the concern that they had. Lastly, and by no means least, are the people of our region, those who daily advocate for positive change in our communities for the sake of families and all citizens of our region, those who are willing to be at the table when discussion takes place that impacts where they choose to live. And I've gone ahead and say this, folks, I really appreciate you all coming from Raleigh, but I've made that 732-mile round trip more than once. As an educator, Going up there to even qualify for a grant for a 2-hour meeting, 732 miles. What in the world possesses somebody to do that? I want to tell you, it's important. It's really, really important. If you're not at the table, you don't eat. Isn't that right, Larry? If you're not at the table, you don't eat. If you're not there with a smiling face or just irritating the dog out of somebody, they're not going to know you're here. I appreciate everything that's been offered. We have been blessed in the fact that we have had this opportunity to sit back and take a look at ourselves. And one of the things I like about it the most is that we've looked at ourselves in a mirror, and I believe we've looked at warts and all. And that's really important, is that we have this look, and I appreciate the words of the Chancellor with regard to where you're going to start. You have to have something out there, not the carrot at the end of the stick, but to have a vision and a dream. As an educator, I spent a goodly amount of time with graduations every year. And one of the things that I wanted to do, and that's why I pretty much ended up in the political realm, I wanted to see a day that we had a graduation to where our kids would not be getting a suitcase to go somewhere else. We live in a region in the state of North Carolina that has some of the highest academic standings in our public schools, and yet they leave. We need to have a place for them to be and to stay. Graham County, and I'm not going to poor mouth. I haven't poor mouthed yet, have I? Graham County is one of those, you notice, where the issue of land is very critical. 113,000 acres of land, I think we get $2.42 on it. Some of you have budgets for animal control that are larger than the budget of Graham County. 9,000 people are not a block of voters. And we don't have the leverage, just 9,000 people. But I'll guarantee you this. You get the like-minded people of the western region of North Carolina together in agreement, and believe me, there'll be warts and all, then it's untelling what we're able to accomplish. Now that's where I stand. I find myself in a position now in Graham County. I love the people. The challenges aren't too happy a lot of times. But you know what? We work through them. And that's what it's going to be about. Transportation is critical. Transportation of getting around in our region is critical. And one of the things that I learned in my association with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, had an opportunity to listen to a person. We're going to have to get beyond county lines. We're going to have to get beyond the issue of just state things. We're going to have to get to the place where we cross over state lines. East-west is great, but north and south would work too. Is that not right? So what it boils down to is that each and every one of us has a decision to make in this. I know you're busy. There are businessmen here, businesswomen. There are political leaders here. God bless your hearts. And we're all here for this purpose tonight. I want to thank the team that led this, Bill Tennell and company. I want to thank them for the hard work and the challenges that they faced. I would have run away. I want to thank the folks at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Federal Highways Administration for provision of the funds to be able to get this done. They made provision and some great staff. I want to thank Pam Cook. She didn't pay me. I want to thank Christy Carter. I want to thank all those crews, all those that are here that have made this possible. So I hope you go away from here as you go out the doors of this wonderful place. A lot's been accomplished here. I'm proud of it. I'm proud for them, as we say here. I'm proud for you, here on the Qualla boundary. And I'm proud for us that we're going to have the ability to do the things that we need to do. So with that, one other thing I wanted to say is that tonight is not the finish of this. It's just not. If this has been done correctly, this will never finish. Because I'm a firm believer, and you go and plan, you will implement, and here's something that's not done a whole lot. Revisit it. Revisit it in the things of value that you discover along the way. Professor told me that 20-something years ago. Go and discover the things that you didn't know before and apply them. And if we do that together, it's going to be great. It'll just have to be great. I appreciate every one of you. I wish you safe travel back home. And I hope you'll take this to heart, whatever you can do. And Ben Brown, I think the best answer was to promote this. You know, just go and just go ahead and promote it at every chance that you have. And not everybody's going to be happy. I've learned that in 3.5 years. But you know what? There's a solution. And in that, you work together to achieve it. Thank you for your time. And I hope that all of you will take this and carry it with you as you go. Appreciate it.